Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Inner Circle. We're going to talk about jump hour watches today. I've shared with you before some great deals for jump hour watches. They were mostly in stainless steel, but of course, jump hour in its simplification, in its purification as a complication, is also a prestige complication, and it seems somehow fitting that I also do an episode with jump hours and precious metals. These are all very elegant watches, very much, I'm sorry, very much pieces that connote this sort of high luxury and prestige. And again, it seems somehow fitting because this is a complication that oftentimes dispenses with seconds and seems to value an understanding of time where such minor details don't make that much difference or should not bother the wearer. And we're going to start with one of the ultimate luxury brands. This is Cartier Rotonde. This piece was seemingly first designed for the CPCP series, that famous exclusive collection that came out of Cartier Paris in 1998 and lasted until 2008. Ultimately, Rotonde was released after the collection was discontinued, but the piece has some elements of that series. The guilloche dial is partly that, but here it's rendered in a kind of anthracite gray rather than the usual silvered look. And also, the piece has a hand wound movement, which, just like the movements in the CPCP series, is embossed with the double wishbone logo of Cartier, which is a unique detail and which more or less confirms how this piece was initially made for the CPCP collection. The movement was designed apparently by Carole Forestier Cassapi, the master watchmaker, one of the leaders of the industry, one of the most established woman watchmakers of our time. She works with Tag Heuer now, but she used to be the master watchmaker at Cartier, and she designed this hand wound movement. This watch is in 18 karat pink gold with a sapphire cabochon right there on the crown. I chose it both because I wanted to present one in each shade of gold plus a platinum watch, but also because, unlike the rest of the pieces, this watch has a little bit more of a wrist presence. It is a little larger and less um, on the side of a discreet um, and minimalistic elegance. And I appreciate it. It has certain industrialistic elements to it, and it is also 42 millimeters in terms of the case diameter and right around 12 millimeters thick. So has a much more substantive wrist presence than any other watch that I'm going to talk about in this episode. The 18 karat pink gold case is matched with an emblematic Cartier déployant strap. And this particular piece actually comes with its full set of accessories, the complete red box treatment. It is offered by a professional dealer in the United States for $19,000, 500 at Chrono 24, but the seller remains open to negotiation, so it is a pretty good deal for what is being offered here. The second watch is perhaps on the other end of the spectrum. It is a white metal piece, even though it is platinum. It is a Breguet classique, meaning that it is, in a sense, the most emblematic example of a discreet elegance, of a stealthy interpretation of luxury. And it is also a 36 millimeter case, which is only 7.5 millimeter thick. The case is in impeccable condition in terms of how it's preserved. As you can see, the teardrop lugs are perfectly distinct. The fluted finish on the case band is beautiful and fine. Even the radial brushing on the case band, including the inscriptions, is incredibly crisp. Sapphire cabochon on the crown. This is a very elegant watch with the matching tang buckle. On the Breguet frosted minute track, you have the Arabic numerals for the minutes, a single Breguet hand for the minutes again. You have a Claude Paris center dial and the perimeter laid out in barleycorn, two kinds of hand guilloche, and a subtle magnifier for the jump hour at 12 o'clock. A beautiful piece of design, very minimalistic, and this particular piece also comes with its full set of accessories. Very elegant, very clean, and in impeccable condition. This piece is listed by a professional dealer out of the United States at Chrono 24 for 25,500, but the seller accepts offers as well, so that is always an option. This is the reference 3620 of Breguet Classique, Heure Sautante in platinum, a beautiful jump hour piece. Next up, we have Vacheron Constantin. Vacheron Constantin is also very much recognized for its jump hour watches. Usually it's not the round case watch that I'm presenting here. This, as you can see, in a way blends the elements of the two watches that I showed you. It has that classic round case design, which is very discreet and elegant at 36 millimeters, but it also has a stepped bezel and a similar expression of minutes and hours to the Rotonde de Cartier, which was the first watch I shared with you. It has a guilloche center of the dial and a beautifully framed display for the jump hours, which is not in any way intruded by the minutes, since that is actually pointed by an indicator that travels around the center of the dial and shows the minutes on a track on the chapter ring. The case has actually a very sculptural and beautiful design. A Maltese cross tank buckle that matches it, and a movement that is based on the legendary JLC 920, which was, of course, the beating heart of the first generation of those legendary integrated stainless steel sports watches, like the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, like the Patek Philippe Nautilus, like the Vacheron Constantin 222. Of course, it remained the base movement for the Royal Oak until the last year, until its 50th anniversary. This is the Vacheron Constantin 36 millimeter yellow gold jump hour watch. Listed by a professional dealer from Italy on Chrono24 for $27,883. And the seller is open to negotiation as well if you would be interested in landing an offer. Now, the last piece is perhaps the most special. It is also the most expensive. This is the famous Vacheron Constantin Saltarello. When you speak of Vacheron Constantin jump hour watches, you probably have something like this in mind, in that classic cushion-shaped case with lugs that are so beautifully shaped, almost architecturally designed, with cues towards an Art Deco style. This piece is in 18 karat white gold, 36 by 36 millimeters, and again, right around 8.20 millimeters thick. So it is actually a very elegant dress watch. It has this sort of sunray guilloche design that is cut by a hand-guided rose lathe on a white gold blank. The hour is also framed in white gold at the conventional 12 o'clock. This piece also has a retrograde minute hand, which of course snaps back at the top of the hour as the hour itself jumps to the next one. Very beautiful and discreet, and with its own design language that clearly is influenced quite distinctly by an Art Deco sense of style. The movement is similarly based on the JLC 920. In this case, you have also an open worked rotor weight, which has a supplemental gold 21 carats piece, hand engraved. The reason that this movement is so thin because it actually rotates on a ring that wraps around um, the bridge plates of the movement, and that actually pivots on 4 rubies. So essentially, the rotor weight sits almost flush on the bridge plates, which is how, for example, micro rotor movements manage to retain that sort of thin profile, right? Where you actually take the rotor, shrink it, and sink it onto the bridge plates. Here you have a full rotor, which is usually more efficient in terms of charging, but you install it in such a way where it actually rotates around the ring, which surrounds the bridge plates, so you don't end up raising the profile all that much. The piece is matched with an 18 karat white gold Maltese cross styled tang buckle. And it has apparently been just serviced by Vacheron Constantin. It is listed by a professional dealer out of Germany for $36,783 at Chrono 24. It is a little bit too expensive for my taste. Otherwise, it would have been my pick of the litter. That award has to go to Breguet Classique, which to me really represents that ethos of discreet elegance that a jump hour watch in a noble metal should connote, in my humble opinion. But for those who prefer something more substantive on the wrist, this is a great option. The Cartier Rotonde jump hour. Another great option would be, and I'm not going to present or dig up another watch for that, would be the Chanel Monsieur. That is also a big boy watch that still represents a luxurious, elegant, high level timepiece with a similar complication. But we will talk about that particular watch in another episode. For now, I'm signing out. If you have any questions about these particular listings, if you want to ask more questions to me about jump hour watches in noble metals or in stainless steel or titanium, just send me a message here on Patreon. You can also find me on Instagram at young.brando. And of course, you can email me at lordhellespont5 at gmail.com. That's lordhellespont v at gmail.com. I'll see you in the next one.